You see a video that is so obviously wrong you cannot ignore it. Someone cuts pasta with scissors and calls it authentic. A stranger declares that anyone over 30 is already irrelevant. A creator gives dangerously bad advice with absolute confidence. Your pulse rises. Your fingers move toward the comments. You type a correction. Maybe an insult. Maybe you send the post to a friend with one question. Can you believe this? And in that moment, the post has won. It did not need you to agree. It did not even need you to like it. It only needed your attention. And your anger delivered exactly that. This is rage bait. Content engineered to make outrage almost irresistible. But why does it work so well? Why do intelligent people repeatedly fall for it? And who benefits every time we take the bait? This is Agnetic, the signal behind the noise. Traditional clickbait opens a gap in your knowledge. You won't believe what happened next. It weaponizes curiosity. Rage bait opens a wound in your sense of right and wrong. It weaponizes anger. Oxford University Press defines rage bait as online content deliberately designed to provoke anger or outrage, usually to increase traffic or engagement. The phrase became so culturally significant that Oxford selected it as its 2025 Word of the Year, after its use reportedly tripled in 12 months. But rage bait is not simply content that makes people angry. A report about genuine injustice may create justified anger. A difficult debate may produce sincere disagreement. Rage bait is different because provocation is the product. Its success is measured less by what it explains than by how forcefully it makes people react. Sometimes the manipulation is obvious: a cruel statement, a fabricated conflict, or an offensive stunt. Sometimes it is almost invisible: one missing fact, an unfair comparison, a mistake left in the video on purpose. The creator may appear foolish, but the strategy can be remarkably calculated. To understand rage bait, we have to start with a basic fact about emotion. Anger is built for action. It's not a passive feeling, it's a physiological command. When you feel anger, your body is preparing for a confrontation. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, and your focus narrows onto the source of the perceived threat. This is a primal, deeply ingrained response designed for survival. Think about other emotions. Sadness often makes us withdraw, to conserve energy and process a loss. But anger does the opposite. It prepares us to approach, to confront an injustice, correct a wrong, punish an offender, or warn our tribe of danger. It floods our system with adrenaline and cortisol, creating a powerful sense of urgency. It's a biological alarm that screams, something is wrong, and somebody must do something about it, right now. This inherent energy is why anger is so potent online. Research on what makes content go viral has consistently found that high arousal emotions are the most powerful drivers of sharing. Positive emotions like awe and excitement can make people share. But on the negative side of the spectrum, anger and anxiety travel much farther and faster than low-energy emotions like sadness. Awe inspires us to share beauty. Anger compels us to share a battle cry. That matters immensely, because social platforms are not built for quiet contemplation. They are built around immediate, decisive actions. Tap, reply, repost, react. Anger arrives pre-packaged with an instruction to act, making it the perfect fuel for an engagement-driven ecosystem. It doesn't ask for reflection, it demands a reaction. Compounding this is the fact that our attention is not emotionally neutral. As human beings, we are hardwired to give more psychological weight to potential threats, losses, and violations than to equally strong positive information. Psychologists call this the negativity bias. It's an evolutionary hangover from a time when survival depended on vigilance. In our ancestral environment, overlooking a pleasant surprise like a patch of berries was usually a harmless mistake. Overlooking a threat, a predator in the grass, could be fatal. Our brains therefore developed to prioritize danger above all else. Rage bait hijacks this ancient alarm system, placing it inside an endless digital feed where every post could be the predator in the grass. The threat may not be a lion, but a headline, a political statement, or just a stranger with a microphone. It doesn't matter. The initial response is the same. Our attention is captured and our anger is triggered before our higher-level judgment can even begin to assess the situation. We feel the urge to fight back, before we've even decided if there's a fight worth having. The pull of negativity is measurable. In one large study of online headlines, Researchers examined more than 105,000 headline variations, shown hundreds of millions of times. For an average-length headline, each additional negative word increased the click-through rate by about 2.3%. One word sounds insignificant. At internet scale, it is not. A small increase repeated across millions of impressions can translate into enormous differences in reach, advertising revenue, and influence. That creates a simple incentive. If concern performs well, try disaster. If disagreement attracts attention, try betrayal. If a nuanced headline produces silence, remove the nuance. This does not mean every negative headline is manipulative. Bad events are real, and journalism must report them. The problem begins when emotional intensity is optimized beyond the truth. When the strongest possible reaction becomes more valuable than the clearest possible understanding. The most powerful rage bait doesn't just annoy us or make us frustrated. It goes deeper, tapping into one of our most potent emotional circuits by suggesting a fundamental moral boundary has been crossed. It's designed to make us feel that our core values, the very principles of our community, are under attack. This is the moral outrage button. Psychologically, it's a powerful cocktail, combining the fire of anger with the visceral rejection of disgust. We feel it in response to a perceived violation: cheating, hypocrisy, cruelty, disrespect, or profound unfairness. This isn't about a simple disagreement or a personal preference. It feels objective, righteous, and urgent. It feels like a defense of what is right against what is clearly wrong. In the physical world, that feeling has a vital social purpose. Public outrage can warn others of danger, enforce crucial social norms, and mobilize entire communities against genuine abuse and exploitation. It's a collective alarm system. But online, that same finely tuned mechanism is a vulnerability. It can be deliberately triggered by incomplete clips, invented villains, and context that is surgically removed to provoke a specific reaction. The alarm bells ring, but the fire isn't real. And if you want to supercharge that reaction, you just have to add one key ingredient: identity. As humans, we are hardwired to sort the world into groups. People like us and people unlike us. This is our in-group and our out-group. These lines can be drawn anywhere. Political camps, generations, nationalities, professions, fandoms, even something as trivial as the brand of phone you use. Rage bait expertly exploits this tendency. It reframes a simple disagreement or a complex issue as a clear-cut contest between us and them. The data confirms this is the digital outrage engine's fuel. A large analysis of political posts on Facebook and Twitter found that language referring to the opposing group, the outgroup, was a particularly strong predictor of sharing. In that data set, each additional outgroup term increased the odds that a post would be shared by a staggering 67%. The algorithm learns, division drives engagement. The lesson for a rage bait creator is simple and powerful. Do not merely present a problem, no matter how infuriating. Give the audience someone to blame, an enemy, an other. Pin the outrage to a face, a group, a logo. Once our group identity feels threatened, our online behavior transforms. We are no longer just individuals scrolling a feed, we are soldiers for our side. Sharing a post no longer feels like a simple click, it feels like an act of loyalty. Leaving an angry comment isn't just typing, it's an act of defense. And in this digital battlefield, silence can feel like surrender. Rage bait is not sustained by psychology alone, it is trained through rewards. In a 2021 study, researchers analyzed 12.7 million tweets from more than 7,000 users, then tested the pattern in controlled experiments. They found that when expressions of outrage received more positive social feedback, likes and shares, users became more likely to express outrage again. This is reinforcement learning in ordinary human form. Behavior followed by reward becomes easier to repeat. The reward can be money, but it does not have to be. It can be attention, status, belonging, or the thrill of watching a number rise. A creator posts an angry opinion and receives 10 times the usual engagement. The next opinion becomes sharper. The target becomes larger. The language becomes less careful. Audiences learn too. If outrage earns approval inside a community, members begin matching the group's emotional style. A calm objection may feel weak. A furious denunciation signals commitment. Soon, nobody has to order the escalation. The metrics teach it. The creator learns what provokes the crowd learns what earns recognition, and the platform observes which content keeps everyone active. It is tempting to imagine an algorithm deciding, make people furious. We picture a malevolent intelligence, a ghost in the machine with a vendetta. But the reality is usually more mechanical, more impersonal, and in some ways, far more dangerous. There is no anger in the code, only cold, hard logic. The system isn't programmed to understand human emotion, it's programmed to predict human action. And it has become incredibly effective at learning which emotions are most likely to provoke a response. Recommendation systems are built on a foundation of signals. They track metrics like watch time, replies, reactions, and shares to predict what people will engage with next. Every second you linger on a video, every emoji you drop, every time you hit that share button, you are feeding the machine data. Crucially, these systems do not need to understand the behind your actions. A furious comment correcting a factual error may still look like positive interest to the algorithm. A repost captioned, "This is disgusting," can still create powerful distribution, flagging the content as highly engaging. The context is lost, only the signal remains. So a powerful and often invisible feedback loop emerges. Provocative, emotionally charged content triggers our innate human attention biases. That attention produces engagement, a click, a comment, a share. This engagement, stripped of its nuance, signals value to the system. In response, the system distributes the content more widely, seeking out a larger audience. This wider distribution inevitably finds more people who are likely to react, pouring more fuel on the fire and strengthening the signal. The cycle repeats, amplifying the most divisive content. No single participant needs to design this entire outcome. It's an emergent property of a complex system. Our own psychological wiring, the financial incentives for creators, and the detached logic of automated ranking can combine into a machine that repeatedly and efficiently discovers anger, because anger repeatedly and reliably produces action. Each component, on its own, might seem rational, but together, they create a powerful engine for outrage. And in this environment, every successful post becomes a template for what comes next. One creator fakes incompetence in a rage bait video and gets 10 million views. Soon, hundreds of others copy the exact format, flooding feeds with manufactured frustration. A misleading debate clip goes viral, so the next editor learns to remove even more context to sharpen the conflict. The system does not simply reveal what audiences already want. It actively shapes what creators learn to make, and in turn, what we all learn to consume. It creates a market for outrage, and that market is booming. Rage bait has another advantage. Anger can make accuracy less important to the act of sharing. A 2024 study published in Science examined outrage and misinformation across Facebook and X, then tested the relationship experimentally. The researchers found that misinformation tended to evoke more outrage than trustworthy news, and outrage increased people's willingness to share, but did not improve their ability to distinguish truth from falsehood. In other words, people may share an outrageous claim for reasons unrelated to accuracy. They may be warning others, condemning an enemy, signaling allegiance, or simply expressing how the post made them feel. This helps explain one of the internet's strangest behaviors: sharing content without opening it. The headline has already performed its emotional function. The details become optional, and corrections face a structural disadvantage. A careful explanation asks for time, uncertainty, and attention. Rage bait offers a villain in seconds. Truth can be emotionally powerful, but rage bait does not wait for truth to become clear. It converts the first reaction into momentum. Once you know the pattern, rage bait becomes easier to recognize. First, deliberate incompetence. A creator performs a simple task in the worst possible way because viewers cannot resist correcting it. Second, the absolute claim. Everyone who believes this is stupid. Nobody needs this skill. Extreme language leaves no room for nuance and creates more opponents. Third, the identity insult. The post attacks a generation, profession, culture, or community, turning spectators into defenders. Fourth, missing context. A short clip begins after the explanation and ends before the resolution. The gap is filled by outrage. Fifth, the obvious error. A date, name, or basic fact is intentionally wrong. Hundreds of viewers rush to provide the same correction, each one boosting the post. And sixth, the false moral emergency. A minor dispute is framed as evidence that society is collapsing. These techniques share one feature. They recruit the audience into distributing the content. The viewer believes they are resisting the post. Functionally, they may be promoting it. That is the genius of rage bait. Its critics become its unpaid marketing team. One rage bait post may seem harmless. The larger cost appears through repetition. Repeated exposure can make rare extremes feel normal. If the most offensive people receive the greatest visibility, we may begin to mistake visibility for prevalence. We conclude that the other side is crueler, more irrational, and more dangerous than it really is. Constant outrage also consumes attention that could have become reflection, conversation, or action. It leaves an emotional residue long after the post is gone. Most importantly, engagement changes the information environment. When outrage repeatedly wins, creators, publishers, and political actors receive the same message: produce more of it. But anger itself is not the enemy. Some things deserve anger. Outrage can expose wrongdoing and move people to act. The question is whether your emotion is leading toward understanding and meaningful action, or merely producing another number beneath someone else's post. The best defense is not becoming emotionless. It is creating a gap between feeling and action. First, pause. If a post creates instant fury, treat that intensity as a reason to slow down, not speed up. Second, inspect. Ask what the post wants you to do. Is it informing you or recruiting you to react? Is the mistake suspiciously obvious? Is an entire group being reduced to one villain? Third, trace. Find the original clip, full quotation or primary source. Check what happened immediately before and after the viral moment. Fourth, choose. If the content is manipulative, do not reward it with an angry comment or quote post. Block, mute, report when appropriate, or discuss the issue without linking to the bait. And if the issue is real, convert emotion into something with a destination. Learn more, contact someone responsible, support credible work, or have a serious conversation. Anger that leads nowhere is excellent fuel for an engagement machine. Anger connected to judgment can become agency. Rage bait succeeds because it turns our best instincts against us: our sensitivity to danger, our desire for justice, our loyalty to others, and our urge to correct what is false. The bait is artificial. The emotion is real. And online, attention is never merely attention. It is feedback. Every pause, share, and argument can become a signal about what should be shown and what should be created next. The most powerful response is sometimes not the perfect comeback. It is refusing to perform the reaction the post was designed to extract. Because in an economy built on attention, the question is not only, is this making me angry? It is, who profits when I am? Agnetic, the signal behind the noise. If you want to understand the hidden forces behind what the world cannot stop watching, subscribe to Agnetic, where we find the signal behind the noise.